Hi, I took a ride yesterday. I had an appointment and I had some thoughts going through my head on the way to my appointment. And it was Valentine's Day and I was just thinking about God's love for us. And some things came to my mind and I decided I wanted to share them with you. So here goes another video, which I really feel weird doing. But as I was driving along the road on the way to my appointment, I realized that the side of the road was all muddy and nasty and dirty. A lot of the snow had been washed away from the side, and it was just a really nasty mess. But then you look out in the fields, and it's a beautiful covering of white. And I started thinking about how we are the same way in our lives. You know, we sin against God, and on Valentine's Day is a perfect time that I was thinking about how much God loves us. And we do things to other people. Sometimes we hurt our relationships with them by sinning against God and by hurting people that we love. And so we fall into what is the side of the road. We fall into the mud and the yuck and the dirt. And then the devil reminds us that we need to stay there because we're not worthy of being cleansed and we're not worthy of being forgiven. And so many people that we talk to in recovery feel like that. They feel like they can't be forgiven. I know one time Marjo and I had a very heavy conversation. He called me one Sunday afternoon, years before he ever went through rehab. And he said something on the phone that day that will be in my mind the rest of my life. Mom, I'm sorry for every time I made you cry. And those words were so important to me that I wrote them down on a piece of paper and I put them in my china cabinet, and they are still there today. Mom, I'm sorry for every time I made you cry. And that's exactly how the Lord feels. You know, when we fail and we stumble and we fall into the mud, all we have to do is ask for his forgiveness. And yesterday Lent started, Valentine's Day, a perfect time to remind us how much God loves us and to remind us that all we have to do is reach out and ask for forgiveness, and he will forgive us. So I don't know whether you're at a stage in your life where you're at the side of the road and you feel dirty and nasty and muddy and you don't think that you're capable of standing back up, wiping the dirt off your pants and starting over. I don't know whether you have hope enough in your heart to think that you're the one that's going to go out in the middle of the field and that white snow is going to cleanse your heart and soul. You know, God can send a blanket of mercy, love, and forgiveness upon us, and he can make us pure again. Psalm 51 talks about cleansing me that I may be pure. Wash me and make me whiter than snow. God can do that to each and every one of us. So no matter where you're at in your life, if you're on the side of the road, get up, wipe the dirt off your pants, ask God for forgiveness, and be cleansed. And just keep going forward. And if you haven't got to that point yet, pray about maybe God leading you to the point where you're ready to ask for forgiveness. Your family members, someday, eventually, if there's been, relationships severed, they can be made whole again too. Remember Marjo's words, I'm sorry for every time I made you cry. Say that to your loved ones, say that to God, and you will be forgiven and cleansed. So the day after Valentine's Day, I hope you had a beautiful day, and I hope it is filled with love and hope for tomorrow. I'll talk to you again one of these days.